Oh, I have time traveled from the year 2022 to tell you that the timeline is in danger, but it's not too late. You can stop it from imploding on itself. All you have to do is join the Dimension Bros Discord server, link in the description, and then come to our 6-month anniversary party. This Saturday, November 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have to be there or else we're all screwed. Now, I have to return to my timeline. Hopefully it won't be screwed up. Please, come to the party. Welcome, everyone, to another Dimension Bros video. Okay, it's actually kind of warm in here, so I'm gonna, there we go. I'm gonna turn that off. So, hi, everybody. How's it going? So, I feel like my desk doesn't quite, I don't know, fit like the vibe of the videos. So I wanted to like move locations for this one. And yeah, this is like a nice aesthetic place. So here we are. I got plenty of space to put up pictures. It's gonna be great. So today, I want to be talking about a fairly popular theory that you've probably heard. Is Greg from Steven Universe the grown-up version of Greg from Over the Garden Wall? So I'm specifically, most of the information that I'm using to like talk about this theory is from this video by Channel Frederator. Is Greg from Steven Universe actually Greg from OTGW? So in the video, so in the video, they say maybe. There's a lot of information to go over. I personally do not think so. I don't like this theory, but we'll get to why. To be fair, in the video, he says it's probably not that likely. So yeah, but let's talk about the facts they go over. This is kind of like a rebuttal to those facts. We'll get to it. So yeah, without further ado, let's go through just the different points they went over in their video. And yeah, talk about why I think they're wrong. So the first piece of evidence I wanted to go over is the, like, timeline. Does it add up? Does it make sense? Well, you see, there's a lot of conflicting information of when Over the Garden Wall takes place. Obviously, Steven Universe takes place present-ish day, but Over the Garden Wall is a little more confusing. Some people say it takes place in the 90s. That's what they go over in the video. I don't exactly remember why. Oh, right, because of, like, the technology and stuff. A lot of people say it's the 70s because, my dog just bumped the camera, sorry. A lot of people say it's the 70s because the cop car scene was only around in the 70s, and that kind of matches the technology, too. And then some people say 2017, which, because of the moon, and 2017 was the only time that Halloween was on a Friday, and the moon was half, which, okay, kinda works, but again, they could have just made that up. They could have been like, ooh, half moon looks cool, and it has to be Friday because the football game has to be going on for the plot to happen. So yeah, I would take that with a grain of salt. Some people, right. So, I tend to lean towards the 70s, so does Theo. I don't know, maybe we'll do a video in the future going over a bunch of evidence. It'd probably have to be me because Theo will complain if we don't say 70s. So yeah, this can't be really taken into account when talking about this theory because there's no, like, sure way of completely knowing. Again, most people think 2017. I feel like that's a little late for the show. But again, most of that's just based on the tape recorder, which anyone could have a tape recorder. Like, I'm pretty sure there are tape recorders in my house right now. Does that mean it's the 70s? No. So yeah, we're not really gonna go into this one too much. Let's go on to some actual stuff that they brought up in the video. So of course the basis for this theory is they are both named Greg. See, that doesn't really matter. Um, I don't know, characters have the same name all the time. That's kind of dumb. If you believe this theory just because both their names are Greg, that's dumb. But I get that that's like where most people just are like, "Ooh, maybe let's dive deeper." So yeah, that's yeah. Both of their names being Greg doesn't really affect it. So the first bit of actual like clues that they talk about in the video is they're both musically inclined, which okay, yes, but they're also both main characters of a musical series. So again, I don't know how far you can take that. Obviously, yes, within the context of the world, they both like music. But still, they're both in musical series, all kinds of animated characters sing. That's not that uncommon. Like, if it was just those two singing, it'd be one thing. But, like, all kinds of characters sing throughout Over the Garden Wall and Steven Universe. Especially Steven Universe. Less Over the Garden Wall. So, yeah. The next, like, piece of evidence is that Steven and Greg from Over the Garden Wall, both have very similar personalities when they're both children, thinking that, oh, if Greg is Steven's dad, then it makes sense that as children they both have very similar personalities. And that's like a lot of what this theory is built on, the fact that Greg and Steven have very similar personalities. But here's my thing. All children in animated shows have the same personality. Aang, Mabel, like, they're Aang, Mabel, Steven. Yeah, see, they all, like, have these happy, bubbly personalities. So it's not that, like, weird. Like, if they were both, like, grumpy or something, like, it'd be one thing. But all animated children are, like, bubbly and excited about everything. So, yeah, there you go. And then the last main bit of evidence that they bring up in the video is that the creators of both shows both worked on Adventure Time. So they're like friends, which, like, sure, that's one thing if they were like making references to each other. But a lot of people worked on Adventure Time. Like I guess the idea is that they both sat down and were like, what if we had the same fictional characters? Like, what if we did the same character, just young and then grown up? Which I highly doubt happened. The idea of that is very odd to me. I don't know. That's really weird. I don't think they both sat down and were like, so, I have this idea for a show, and I think you should use one of my characters grown up in it. Like, you can believe this theory all you want, but it's not canon. There is no way it's canon. I don't even headcanon this. But I don't think it's... But if you think it's actually canon, that's... No. No. So those were the main points they went over in the video. But then I have one more criticism with the theory I want to talk about. Greg and Wirt are, like, best friends in the series. Like, Greg loves Wirt. So you think that Greg would have at least, mentioned the existence of Wirt at least once. Like, at some point. Even, like, because Greg, like, in Steven Universe Future, old Greg, like, goes back to his childhood home. And he describes his childhood like he was an only child. And, like, he also describes his childhood like he had a bad childhood. You think Greg from Over the Garden Wall is having a bad childhood? Nah, that kid is vibing. Like, clearly. So, yeah. I don't like this theory. I think these are two very different characters, and people grouping them together aren't appreciating, like, the intricacies of these characters. So yeah, that's how I feel on the matter of whether Greg from Over the Garden Wall is Greg from Steven Universe, you could feel completely differently. This isn't one of like those theories that like, this isn't like my ship video. My ship video, I'm like, if you break these rules and ship these ships, I don't respect you. That's not how I feel here. If you want a headcanon that Greg from Over the Garden Wall is Greg from Steven Universe, go for it. No one's stopping you. I think it doesn't really make sense, is far-fetched, and I don't know, it just feels like one of those theories that you see passed around on Facebook every once in a while, like baiting. So yeah, that's how I feel on the matter. Tell me how you feel in the comments below, and I will see you all in a week.